Hello and welcome. This is a new episode of Overcoming Emotionally, and thank you for sharing your time listening to this episode. So, we have started last week with the definition of emotions and realized that emotions are energies produced in response to the mind, reviewing or inspecting perceptions or thoughts. Today we'll elaborate more on the characteristics of emotions. Emotions do not distinguish the accuracy of the perception or the thought that is triggering them. What I mean by that, the emotion I feel, like fear for example, could be in response to a real and factual threat or in response to a relational situation that my mind construct as threatening. Emotions do not know the difference between a factual and real thought or a perception or an assumption. This is important because the journey of emotional healing is the journey of challenging the distorted thoughts, accepting the invitation to new ways of thinking, therefore new way of relating. Emotions by themselves are byproducts for the perceptions and the thoughts, and it would be helpful to know what kind of perceptions triggers the four common most emotions. The emotion of fear is felt when the mind perceives a threat or expects a catastrophic outcome. The emotion of sadness is felt when the mind perceives loss or disappointment of hopes. The emotion of anger is the emotion of demands, is generated to meet demands. Obviously, some of those demands can be just and worthy, others can be unjust. We will come to know more about that later. And then finally, the emotion of joy is generated upon the experiencing of provision, health, achievement, success, and so forth. The emotions has to be accepted because emotions are void of ethical or moral content. I cannot judge or condemn an emotion. It's not good, it's not bad. It's simply part of the self. Emotions are indicators trying to tell me, trying to tell you about your fears, threats, demands, hopes, and thoughts. They have to be accepted. I encourage you, my dear audience, to accept what you feel. But accepting what I feel, accepting what you feel, is just the beginning of what we call the healthy emotional response. The healthy emotional response starts with the individual or the person acknowledging what they feel, trying to give it a name, then gauging how severe the feeling is, and then linking the feeling to the perception of the thought, and finally expressing the feeling to a safe and trustworthy friend at the proper time. Emotions are energies. Once they are generated, they will not vanish or go away. So I have the choice to verbally express them with words to trustworthy listeners and friends, or otherwise they will come out. They will force themselves out in the non-verbal aspect of my communications, namely my facial expressions, my tone of voice, my way of staring or gazing at things, my body position. Acknowledging emotions and verbalizing them is important. Naming the emotion we feel is something that will require some time. What you feel, what I feel in many situations is a mixed emotional pictures. It may take a while, it could be a few weeks, months, or even years for me or you to be able to name particularly what are you feeling and examine the perceptions. I hope that was helpful and enjoyable. I hope you enjoy your week, and I look to see you next week. Nidal, bye.